Mic check.
Welcome to episode 4 of Teppee Chronicles, where we uncover the interrelationship between NYC's vibrant urban culture and the ever-evolving world of multimedia communications. Through storytelling, let's explore how multidisciplinary fields intersect to shape ideas and spark innovation. In this episode, we're talking motherhood, education, and ambition with Sandy Fougeres, a recent grad from City Tech's professional and technical writing program. We'll chat about what it's like to juggle student life, parenting, and stepping into the professional world. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Sandy.
I'm 29 years old. Well, I recently graduated from the New York City College of Technology with a Bachelor's of Science in Professional and Technical Writing. Before I got to that place, I did attend Kingsborough, where I got my associates in liberal arts. Prior to that, I did just regular general schooling. However, along that journey, which led me to professional and technical writing, is that I realized I had a love for writing. I spent a lot of my time as a youth writing all types of stories. I loved fiction, so I
Right.
wrote a lot of like fantasy stories, a lot of stuff that really interest me, and then I would have my family read them. Outside of just my leisure time of writing, I had a lot of friends and family that would come to me and ask me if I can always help them with their written work,
Yeah.
such as like their resumes or just to go over documentation with them. So I realized I had a knack for it. I may have also realized I had a talent for it. I done dental assisting, I done customer service, all those type of various works in various industries. But one thing I've always noticed is that I really love to write. That's what sort of led me down the path to professional and technical writing.
Wow, this sounds so similar to my background story, my relationship with writing since I was very young. I also started off with, writing about how I felt or things that happened in the day or whatever, like major events, and also, writing fiction things and whatnot. And I also have had family members come to me to, read to them what they have received in the mail. And I'm just like, I don't want to be involved in your legal or medical situations, but I guess we don't have a choice here because you're family. But yeah, I definitely can correlate with the concept of seeing what we're good at, manifesting itself in what we do and what our family members or friends sort of come to us for. So I can definitely relate to this. I would also say that I have heard it before from other students in the PTW program expressing how, oh, how did you realize that PTW was it for you? And then they say, well, I did notice a pattern when I was very young where I did enjoy writing about, whether that was fiction or writing about this or writing about that. But they all have that thing that they say that they used to do when they were really young. And they finally realize that they wanted to make it a career. Now, I know you mentioned before that you have a daughter.
Yeah.
What would you say are the biggest mindset shifts you've experienced as a student and a mom?
Oh, yeah. Before being a mom, as a student, I definitely knew that school was important, but I felt like I had like this abundance of
Right.
time. Like I can get serious at any point. I felt okay not knowing where I wanted to be, which led me down the path of many trainings and industries and such, as I mentioned before. I just had a unseriousness, I would say. Like, yeah, school is important,
Right.
but I can always finish it. I was unmotivated. I didn't find it to be like the end all be all. Not to say like as a being a mom now and a student is not the end all be all, but it is certainly an important aspect in my progression and development as a professional. And one thing I want to do is be an example for my daughter, as well as just be in a stable place where I can take care of her and take care of myself. So my mindset now is like, I have tunnel vision.
Super hyper focused.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I can completely relate with your situation. I have two kids myself, and before my kids were born, I completed my associate's degree. So just like you, there's like a tunnel vision thing where you're hyper focused and more committed. There's more at stake, is what I would
Oh
say.
yeah.
Whereas, you know, back in the days before the kids, oh, ramen soup once a day. Yep, that's cool. Just have some water, get back to my studying, go, mess around, wander around the city and all that stuff. Now with the kids, it's like, what is my purpose of being in school?
Oh yeah.
How much can I extract from school that would benefit me and enhance my development, my academic and professional development? And and how is this going to benefit my family at home? How is this going to enhance my abilities to provide for them and to make sure that I give them a good example and stuff like that? Because you want your kids to look up to you. I mean, before the kids were born and all that stuff, you're like, oh, I look up to my parents, therefore I want to make them proud. Now your kids are born, your parents sort of become secondhand citizens compared to the situation. Instead of you looking up to someone, now it's about expecting your kids to look up to you. So the tables have turned, and for some reason, the emotional and mental weight is it's heavier. It's a lot heavier. Everything that I do now has to be intentional. Every move that I make in school, how is this going to benefit? What role is it playing in my portfolio?
I can definitely expound on that, like I and relate to it. I feel way more grounded. I feel way, like you said, I feel way more intentional about the things that I do. I feel before group work used to be like group work, I could do this by myself. But now when I'm doing group work, I'm really trying to be present. I'm really active. I'm really engaged.
Right.
So, and it's all because I'm thirsty. I'm hungry for
Yes.
the goals and my goals to be met and to succeed because I know I have someone depending on me.
All right, let's talk your biggest challenges as a student and parent.
Whoa, that's a big one. um Balance. Whoa, balance is a big challenge. And when I say balance, it's really like the responsibilities of being a parent, the responsibilities of being a student, being present and practicing self-care for
Right.
yourself. I had a hard time, and I also deal with
Mhm.
anxiety, a lot of anxiety this time around in school that I noticed that I didn't prior. And the anxiety is that I just have this fear that I'm gonna fail. And it's
Mm.
really because of trying to keep everything together, trying to make sure that everything is happening the way it should be, and that my daughter is, her needs are getting met and my needs are getting met. And I found it that sometimes I neglect myself. And as a student, you can't neglect your schoolwork unless, you'll fail.
Right, right.
So I think the challenge really for me was just kind of like balancing the needs of my home and the needs of being a student.
Yeah, yeah. As you're talking, I'm getting PTSD from those periods where like the semester gets tough and stuff. And,
Yeah,
I've had to manage home, the kids, internships, work, and school, and side projects and stuff. And I gotta say that it's sort of like walking on this very thin rope, and I am like those moments where the things get tough. I feel like I'm just fidgeting from side to side, trying my best not to fall. Like walking on thin ice or something. And I completely understand what you're saying. It's definitely you're juggling a lot,
yeah,
and there are a lot of students who go to college and they don't have kids, and which is great to be able to go to school without having kids, doing things in that order, having kids after, but they don't have to learn to juggle work life or academic work life balance as much as we have to when we have kids. I feel like we come into the workforce more equipped to practice the whole work life balance thing because we have been doing it with the incorporation of us having our kids while we're in school. So the whole idea is sort of like a freaking boot camp process and work-life balance before you start, before you enter the job market. I'm just going to drop this fun question. What has been the wildest thing that has happened with your child while you were in a Zoom class?
Oh my goodness. Over the summer, did the internship training and it was over Zoom. And my daughter, she wasn't feeling well, so she was here with me resting. And then she got up as I was talking. She just threw up.
Oh no, poor thing. Oh, poor thing. Listen, for me, every semester, my kids, at least once, this happens at least once per semester, my kids just run around the house, barge in my room, running on my bed and run back out. And the youngest one is always in her underwear and her hair loose. She has this thing with clothes. As soon as she gets home, she doesn't just take off her shoes, she takes everything off. And they just run around here like, I call them they have earned themselves that nickname jungle babies because they run around here wrecking everything. And whether I'm on Zoom or not, that's just the background noise. Everyone's just staring at me like, are they like nuts in the house? And I literally keep staring at the screen like nothing is happening in the background. At this point, there's like a loop nightmare that I have become numb to and I no longer react to. Yeah. Let's talk about your support system. Who would you say, or what would you say, has played the biggest support in helping you stay on track throughout your time in school?
It's definitely my partner, and my cousin. My cousin Shannon. Been wonderful. Wow. So I say my partner because he gave me the space to kind of just focus on school. There wasn't
Wonderful.
really a requirement for me to find employment at the moment. He pretty much covered all the needs in the house financially. And
Right.
he just told me like, you're going back to school. I know it's going to be tough. Just handle what you have to handle in school and just, focus on our daughter and do what you have to do. So I would commend him and thank him for that. It was very important for me at that time. And I would say my cousin Shannon because she was an emotional support for me throughout this whole process. Going back to school was very scary for me as a parent because I just felt like my brain wasn't fresh enough. I also felt like, like you said, there's really great people here in New York City, and I felt like in this program, it just brought out like the very best, like writers, the very best, like people when it come down to media, and being sitting alongside these people, I felt like I didn't have the time to really hone my skills the way that they did because I had to go home and be a parent. Um, so a lot of the times when I had assignments that was pretty difficult or I felt like I was at the edge of my seat, near burnout or near just an anxiety um, attack, I would speak to her and she would always, always, always ground me. She would always remind me that, like, I'm there for a reason. I'm talented and that she's here for me and that just shoot for the stars, do what I have to do. And she's also a parent. Her child is older, but she's also in school. So we did it together and we always just made sure that we were there for each other. So I would say my support system was pretty solid this go around. And I appreciate what I had. Yeah.
I think it's beautiful. I think it's important to have a support system, especially because when you feel stuck in your head inside that storm, someone who's outside of it can pull you out. And there are so many ways in which you can get stuck in this storm. It could be emotional. It could be, you're having a mental block, a writer's block, a creator's block, or you're suddenly feeling overwhelmed about personal matters. It's always important to be able to like have someone to talk to, someone who can listen to you. And For me, it started off with just my husband and close family members. And then while being in school, obviously there's this moment where you start evolving academically and professionally in ways that family members can't really help you because they're not in the program with you, right? So that's where, for me, the aspect of creating a support system composed of, peers, professors, and, other people that I might meet during internships or the work study, that process is what has helped me receive the support that was missing as I evolved in my journey as a mother, wife, student, and emerging professional.
That's how my support system started. I would say that's the foundation of my support system, but it definitely has grown over the years. I have professors as well as other family members who just support me in every aspect now, as I'm continuing my career. One professor I have in mind is the internship professor, Professor Daly.
Oh, yeah.
He lets me know that he's here for me if I need to just, either like get through the work, or if I have anything on my mind that I want to just express, he was just always available.
He is such a cheerleader. He is so great. These are such scary times when you're transitioning into the job market. So, yeah, he is amazing for it. You need someone who's going to boost your confidence, who's going to make you feel, hey, everything's going to be okay. And someone who's going to tailor your needs according to where you're headed and or what is it that you need to strengthen so that you can, so that you can have a smoother transition into the job market, so you can have an easier time interviewing, because interviewing and applying for work can be very stressful.
Yeah, oh man. Like I really appreciate him during that whole process of the internship because it was definitely scary. But he made it really he made it really comfortable. The internship reached out back to me outside of doing internship work.
Oh, that's incredible.
Right. So I'm doing work with him again. And I really do say it's thanks to Professor Daly, and just the support system that I have in place now.
Wow. So let's talk a little bit about the internship because I have not taken it yet. I'm taking it this summer, and I think that a lot of PTW students will benefit from knowing what kind of support they will receive. So tell us a little bit about the internship. Other than attending the internship during the working hours, what were your meetings about with Professor Deli? And how did it help wrap up your portfolio once you graduated?
So as you know, it's like a class and then you have the internship itself. So a lot of the times I was doing the assignments that Professor Daly had for me, the weekly assignments, and then there was the hours that I had to put in. The assignments, they were great. Why I say that? Because a lot of the readings that he provided, it just for some reason I was able to resonate with all of them at the time because I was also at some point I did have to go back to work, part-time work, but there was certain things that was happening there that I could relate to in the readings. So every week whenever I had to submit my assignment and I did the readings, I was like, wow, this is what's happening to me right now, and this is like a resolution that I could use to, like, navigate. So I really appreciated that. And then I communicated him with him a lot about, like, how the work was going in the internship, any issues that arised. He definitely gave me like some options, and he also was just like the line of communication between me and my internship supervisor. So if I didn't contact her directly, or sometimes the situation would be a little bit complex, he would step in to make sure, like, I got your back. This is what's happening. I spoke
That's
to
beautiful.
Yeah, I spoke to the supervisor, and this is how it's gonna go. So I know there was no point in my internship where I felt like I did not have support.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like the readings were a way to tailor supporting your growth and development. That's very interesting. So, what would you say across all the readings? Can you describe the best advice that you received through these readings that resonated with you the most or that supported your development the most?
There was one reading that was about like just how to navigate the workforce in terms of like boundaries. And one thing I noticed when I'm working, I tend to just I'm just like, yes, I could do this. Yes, I could do this. Yes, I could do this, you know? And it's really because I at heart, I'm a people pleaser. So I'm like, I'm spreading myself thin here.
Right.
So in this reading, it kind of just described like how to set boundaries at work while still being professional. Helped me with just formulating like it was like a guide.
Wow, I completely understand what you're saying because it can be so nerve-wracking to like, and by the way, I'm gonna need to read that article because it's very difficult to set boundaries when you're only an intern and you're intimidated by the workforce. And it's not so much like they're doing something wrong, it's just that you're new to it and you just want to succeed and you've been sweating this and wanting this so bad for like 4 years now, or who knows for how much longer. So I completely understand. Professor Corbett has been helping me work towards not saying yes to everything. Being more selective is the word that he used. Being more mindful of what I say yes to because I already have a lot of things going on. So using my time more mindfully would be more beneficial for me. So it's definitely something that I'm also working towards. Okay, let's end this on a lighter, more fun note. Okay, this question I'm asking for a friend. I'm not asking. It's okay, I'm asking for me. Would you rather go through 10 job interviews or having to negotiate with a toddler who does not want to wear pants before leaving the house?
Um
Think carefully.
the toddler.
The toddler?
Rather the
Yeah.
toddler.
Mm.
Why? Because it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a lot of like, put on those pants. We gotta go. Like it's gonna be a lot
Mm.
of fixing, a lot of negotiating, a lot of yelling.
Oh my
But
God.
once those pants go on, I know that at some point I'm gonna get I love you, mommy, or a smile,
So
or a
cute.
hug, or a kiss.
Mm.
That to me is everything.
I don't know. I have the feeling I'd rather deal with like not 10, 20 interviews than having to juggle getting my toddler to wear pants. She intimidates me. She really does. And she lives with me. None of those people that interview me live with me. So I'm fine with it. I rather deal with the interviews than have my toddler look at me like she's plotting against me. Thanks for watching. I'm walking in.